right, here we are with another Woods report. Okay, we're back in Dubai again. Here we go.
Out of the country.
Caroline was acting a fool this episode.
Brooks or
So
the
the
uh,
Caroline, I call Brooks.
okay, so the
Caroline.
other Caroline
Well, both
is
of them was silly,
but
but
we talked the black Caroline.
Brooks.
We're calling her Brooks.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And then Caroline is Caroline. Okay,
They both
so
had a little way of acting up.
yeah, tonight they both was, or whatever night what
Okay.
night they come on?
I
Wednesday,
don't even
Thursday?
know. Today is Friday.
Friday. I think it come on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I think so.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Caroline opens up. The show opens up with Caroline and Sergio, and they show up on the construction site of their new home. Now,
They're buying
apparently,
this together.
I don't know. We don't know.
Her boy toy.
We don't even know if Caroline is buying it. Dubai might be buying it as much as she talk about how Dubai is so wonderful and stuff all the time. And the prince lives in this neighborhood. Apparently, that's what she said. It's a very hard neighborhood to get in.
She had the dog.
Everybody in the world tries to get into this neighborhood, apparently, and she's in this. Like celebrities from all over the world, she said, tries to get in this neighborhood.
Top big dog.
But she's in this neighborhood
She
all
had
of
the
a
dog
sudden.
with her, didn't she?
The dog is always with them
On the construction site.
and he didn't have a helmet on. Everybody had a helmet on. She even had a helmet on, but the dog didn't have a helmet on.
She wasn't even protecting the dog.
So if a rock would have hit or something, that dog would have been gone. And he's so little, they could have dropped him down any kind of tunnel or something.
Anything could hit him.
So I noticed that too.
Yeah.
No helmet for that dog.
Okay.
So she just had to have that dog.
Oh, that must be the favorite one out of all 20, 30 of them.
You know what? It's like 6 of them that look the same.
Yeah, so
that could be a different dog. We don't know the difference. They all look the same.
That's true.
All right.
It's
So
your
anyway,
turn to go out poopy.
I know.
Okay.
All right. So now, so they're talking about that. Again, good luck getting in. Rich people live there. Then they start talking about their other storyline, which is a baby. Sergio wants a baby. She says she's 45 and she already has her kids.
Clock is ticking.
But she knows that if she doesn't have a baby, he's gonna leave.
Because he wants a child.
He's
And
never
how
been
old is he?
married.
He's half her age,
He's
right?
half her age.
So yeah, of course he's going to be wanting a baby.
He's never had a child. He's never been married. So
he may not be the one. But did she talk to him about surrogate or something?
Yeah. So
I didn't kind of understand. He didn't really. He wanted her to carry it.
Yeah,
he didn't want nobody else.
He said that he studied, and it showed, and that he read up, and it said that if a surrogate carries the baby, it won't look like him. He's an idiot.
He's
and then
truly a boy.
And then she called him a boy and said
he's very naive and does not understand.
She probably talked about him being a boy. She called him a girl. She called him everything other than a man in this episode.
But yet she's still marrying him.
She already married him.
Oh, that's
Remember,
right.
they just having the ceremony. No, they already just having the ceremony.
That's right. I missed that.
Yeah.
One.
So yeah, he's everything but the child of God.
So he's her sex toy.
She didn't call him that. She just called him a boy,
that's pretty
a
much
woman.
What he is. What some of the ladies are calling him is what he's acting and behaving.
I think she made well, we'll come up to it when she had the conversation with Sarah later about being single and dating and all that other stuff. Okay, so now we go to Brooks, and now Brooks is deciding to go shopping for her spa. She wants to open up a spa, a building. The first one she looks at is in a mall or something, and it's like $18,000 a month or something for the rent. She says I believe she said her ex-husband or somebody's helping her pay for this. Or is she doing it herself?
I thought she's doing everything herself.
Well, I know she made a point.
I was bragging about being
I was getting ready to say
entrepreneur by herself. How she came from, even the divorce, worked her way up, real estate. Where she's at now is because of her.
Well, she said after she got a divorce, she became a millionaire 1 year after she had a divorce. So she dropped him and became a millionaire by doing real estate. Wow. So you're right, it could be her. But the thing that was interesting is that she said that there aren't any spas there that are inclusive for women of color.
Yeah, hair, face, makeup, everything.
Cause she has to go to different places.
Because she made a comment that I had to deal with when you're doing electrolysis. Our skin is different.
Oh, yeah.
When we get hair removal and things like that.
Because of pigmentation and stuff.
Yeah, so she wants to cater to that.
Yeah. So. And then you got to think of the fact that hair, everybody can't do black people's hair.
Exactly.
And then makeup. Everybody can't do makeup.
So that's a very good business plan she has for be in Dubai as well.
So she says that once it opens, she thinks it's going to be huge because that's going to be a big thing for a lot of women.
And she's looking at the different places of location for it.
Yeah, she went to a second place.
A lot of money.
Well, the first place was going to take over 6 months to open, and she said, I can't wait that long.
On a short time.
So she decided to take the second place, which was more expensive. That was like $26,000 a month because it's already pretty much done. She just has to put the new furniture and all that stuff in
quicker to get her business
done quicker. Didn't you find it interesting in her diary? She said, I think that I'm opening a spa because I feel like every woman in Dubai deserves to look like me.
When she said that, I said, okay.
Is she real?
She's topped Ayana as far as conceited.
But do you think she being for real?
I think that was just a play line. I don't think she meant that because she know darn well every woman don't want to look like her. For her to even, it didn't make sense for me because if she's putting a salon, if she's building a business that caters to different kind of women.
So that means
women
that
of color, we all want to look like you.
I thought that was odd because I'm like, on the one end, you're talking about being different.
Yes.
And then on the same tongue, you speak it out and saying every woman deserves to look like me.
So the difference in the women of color, we all should look like you on that spectrum.
It didn't make sense. So that's why I didn't know if that was a real statement or not.
I hope not. I'm sure she got some calls and emails about that.
I think she just said it like you said to be provocative.
You think?
They all doing that.
I want to look like me.
Yeah.
Because Ayana, we expect that. What's her name? Her first name?
Chanel.
Chanel Ayana. We expect her to say that. Oh,
exactly.
Everyone should look like me.
But Brooke. And they already got an argument on the previous episode. And Ayana said, who want to look like you? Remember? I'm a model. Why would I want to look like you?
That's
all right.
True.
So now we go to Nina.
Okay.
Boring Nina. And she decides to drop in on her husband's office because he's a workaholic and they never have time. He's some kind of businessman. They all said it, but I really don't listen to what they say.
Is he the money of this family? Because he's talking about buying her a Rolls Royce.
He bought her a Rolls Royce. She got to pick it out.
Which color?
Yeah, all this stuff. Well, they get into a whole conversation. She goes there to have lunch with him because he's a workaholic, and she can barely get time with him. So that's not a bad idea. If you have a husband who works a lot.
They used to have date night on Fridays.
Yeah, or if you have a husband that works a lot and he's able to have lunch with you, it's nothing wrong to me with you dropping by and having lunch.
I mean, that's a good thing about this rich couple. Yeah,
and she doesn't have a job, so.
So does she ever state what her business is? What she does?
I don't know.
I think my notes I wrote down in that first episode. I think I wrote down.
I think it's on the first. Yeah, you would have to go back.
They're all doing something entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay.
So they talk about Bijan or Bijan
or some known person.
He is her husband's
assistant.
No, he's her husband's partner. He's business partner, and she says that's his second wife. He does everything for Bajan.
She said that. I'm saying you gotta be
and Bajan is married too, but we don't know.
I don't know.
I know.
Your second wife.
That's his second wife.
Be careful how you say that. And
well, anyway, he's having a birthday party, and they start talking about the birthday
party. She said
party.
he does things big.
Six figures.
Is his big thing.
They're going to be flying in celebrities from Los Angeles, and they're going to have a whole big shindig and invite all the girls there.
Their shindig is not like the backyards of Virginia.
No. So, she's making a big deal about this.
Oh, my God.
And then, like you said, they sat down and talked about her. She needs to pick out what kind of Rolls Royce she wants.
Were they on a yacht?
No, they was at his office.
No, for the party.
No, it was a building. I believe it was a building.
Remember, they was talking about how alcohol is served and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Island.
You know what? I don't know.
Okay.
But they talk about what kind of Rolls Royce he's going to buy her, and she needs to make a decision. And what color.
Test drive them or something.
We're so rich. Oh, my God. We're so rich. And so then everybody starts talking about license
that
plates.
person, she just bought a plane that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, Kim.
So these guys.
Yeah. No, Kim is when I do my hair.
Oh, that's right.
All right. The other rich people are like, hey, I'm so rich. Oh, my God. No hair. Just almost so rich. Okay, so they talk about license plates, and apparently the lower number, the number is license plate is expensive, and the lower the number, the more expensive the license plate is.
How much was that?
So she's flipping through to try to figure out what number she wants.
Should be.
And her husband told her that somebody paid $33 million
for a license plate.
It's very prestigious.
Kids starving all over the world.
Yeah, a license plate. And she said, I don't see spending $33 million.
War in Ukraine.
I don't see spending $33 million for a license plate. She said, but then again,
see
if
how
you're rich,
and I guess sometimes people, spend their money. It can make them go, ugh, when you're spending money like this on things like that.
I think what hurts this show is maybe if this was in the 80s, when we were all watching Dynasty. Mm-hmm. Remember Dynasty and the Carringtons? Yes, and we were watching Dallas.
Yes.
That was the 80s. You know, everything was big and was famous and rich.
That was a fantasy. This is real.
But I'm saying the 80s, we all lived way above our means and all of that.
But you know
people
what?
don't have no money now. So they ain't trying to see all this.
One of the things they're starting to show in the Housewives, the different housewife franchises, is women that are giving back. Mm-hmm. We need to see these Dubai women giving back more.
Yeah.
Have you seen that in any of them? Giving back, even in the communities where they came from. If they're not, hopefully where they are, if they can.
If there should be running water in Iana's village.
Yes. And many goats.
There should not be one person walking miles with a bucket on their head to get water in her village.
Back women. That's all I'm saying.
At least in her village.
In their old places where they come from. If it's from, one of them from Virginia
from everywhere.
Or Texas,
from everywhere.
Give back. We want to see that. Not talking about how many $1 million of a license plate.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So now we go away from them because I'm
they are boring. They're a boring couple.
I'm tired of hearing about the license plate and about the Rolls Royce and what color.
It's funny how bored she is, but that couple is boring. So the assistant partner is more exciting than they are.
Getting ready to have his 6-figure birthday party. Mm-hmm. All right, so now we go to Lesa and her kids in the office, and she decided a brilliant idea, which is dumb, to build a playground. And in her mind, it was brilliant.
Maybe she should have had it closed off in a glass door.
Why would you put a playground for your kids to play in your office?
If she
couldn't get any work done.
Why wouldn't you close it off? Maybe with glass.
And you can watch them work. You can watch them work.
Have a nanny in there.
Well, she had the nanny in there anyway, remember? She kept calling the nanny.
So if a nanny is in there, then you shouldn't be interrupted with the kids in the play area that you've created.
They climbing all behind her head on a tree and everywhere.
Man, look at this, honey. I can't write this now. I'm trying to do. Son, leave me alone.
And she said, I don't know.
Maybe that was for the TV.
It was for the TV. Well, she's the same one that put ice in the swimming pool, remember? Mommy, we have ice? What? She does all this stuff just for the television.
Overkill.
So then she says, where's my husband? He needs to come and get the kids. So he comes in there.
That ain't his job. He working too.
He comes in there. He says he has a meeting that he has to go to. Mm-hmm. People actually sitting in the boardroom
waiting for him to come.
But she wants to discuss her company, their company, mm-hmm. Nina Rowe or Nina, whatever the name of it.
Yeah, the clothing line.
The clothing line. Who he doesn't care.
And the extension of it.
He's the CFO, but he cares nothing about this company. This company to him is something to keep his mind.
Sidekick.
It's to keep his wife happy,
occupied,
and leave me alone. That's what he really sees it as.
But she did call and find out because the kids was even kind of downplaying her,
which tells you that that's how they feel normally.
So mommy's not important. No,
when she was working, she was like, "Mommy needs to work," and it was like, "What you do is not important."
Thank you. You got your kids saying that.
So what does that tell you? That's not the first time they said that on television. Mm-hmm. They said that behind the scenes, that they don't think what you do is important.
And she had to call somebody to ask how much did they gross.
She don't know how much she grossed.
Was it 6 figures?
7 figures. Or 8 figures.
She grossed a lot. But apparently they kind of made fun of it in this episode.
But why would she not know how much she grossed?
She kind of remind me of Drew, don't she? They don't have a clue. If you was to ask Drew, how much is her business making? She wouldn't know. She had to call her friend. Hey, how much have we made last year?
So this man got people waiting in the boardroom.
That's why he don't take her serious.
And she's sitting down showing him fashions mm-hmm. that are selling. Mm-hmm. Literally bringing out the fashion and holding it up so he can see the clothes. Mm-hmm. And he's on his phone the whole time. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not really listening to you. And she gets upset because he's not listening to her.
Right.
Why would he listen to you?
But he has a board meeting he needs to tend to run the company that he's over.
Oh my goodness.
Or part of, or whatever his position
So she gets mad, Nina Rowe, that's the name of the company.
Nina Rowe.
Because he's not prioritizing her company.
Google it and see how everything's going.
So he puts the phone down. Well, Beyonce wore her stuff.
She did.
And that helped her. They said when Beyonce wore one of her outfits, it crashed her website.
Oh my God.
So that helped her.
That helped her get
a lot of that egg figure came from Beyonce fans. It came from that for the Beehive. Just believe that. Because if Beyonce wear any of your stuff, if she wants to wear a Woods
you know what that? Thank you.
T-shirt.
That
what would you do if you looked up and saw Beyonce wearing a Woods Report T-shirt?
Well, I'll be asking why. Why are you wearing a Woods Report?
I know, I'm just laughing now. Wouldn't that be the funniest thing in the world?
Because that just shows you how
it's happened before to people to be Oprah. Remember Oprah's nice things or whatever?
Yeah.
There's been people who said they were sitting at home in their pajamas. And then all of a sudden they look on TV and Oprah got on their slippers or something. And they like, because they don't tell them. And they was like, oh my God. And the phone started ringing.
I like that.
So we don't know. She could be on Facebook.
But that just goes to
she
show
could be flipping through and be like, oh, these ladies are funny.
If you get one entertainer or one athlete or whatever to endorse your product. Beyonce wearing your shirt, your black dresses and stuff.
I almost want to get a lookalike.
How you gonna get a lookalike?
A Beyonce.
What do you mean?
And Pat and put on the shirt.
No, her fans will kill you.
I know. That was a Beyonce.
They'll murder you.
Okay.
Be death threats forever.
So she's upset and all this other stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So then he finally puts his phone down and listens to her. And she says, I want to get this new line out that's not for maternity wear, just regular clothes.
Right. She's extending her because she knows maternity is only a short time.
And she said, I just need you to sign off on this. And he says, well, I need to see the numbers before I sign off. And then she says, well, that's patronizing. In other words, he's never asked probably before. He just let her just do whatever. And she got mad. You notice the camera showed her face like, if you don't sign off on this, you're not going to have happy wife, happy life. So he stops and says, you know what? I trust you. Go ahead.
He had no choice, but they probably practice that little line.
It's just to keep her happy. So now we go to
Iyanna. A black woman, man.
We go to Iyanna walking with her husband. Okay.
I thought that this scene, I didn't realize how tall she was compared to him. She had flats.
He's like right here, and she's her head above him.
Cute little flat boots on. I thought that was a cute little outing for them. Because how
they just walking and they went and got ice cream.
I'm thirsty. I want something sweet, and listening to their conversation and how they just kind of poked along and talked and reminisced on when they first met. And that was nice.
Well, they first started off apparently there's a 7 p.m. prayer.
Yeah, that happened. She hears so much,
and they put it over the intercom. The intercom.
Remember, they're in Dubai, so they probably have the Muslim.
The nerve to me, you got the nerve to still put up a prayer, and everything else, every other tradition, you didn't kick to the curb to have this city.
Well, prayer is number one for them, so they do so many. I think this was a special night of prayer.
If other countries look at Dubai, I would look down. If I was Muslim, I really would.
You know what? It's probably
I would be. They are travesty.
Don't you think?
If I was, I would be. Y'all a travesty.
Don't you think it's similar to like the Jewish customs and stuff and Jewish religion? Because there's different sects of Jews. As far as Orthodox, the Orthodox Jews probably look at the Reformed Jews and the conservative Jews. Okay, so then
if you are you
wearing this and you're eating that.
But here's the thing: if you're going to be progressive, why are you blasting a prayer over the intercom at 7 p.m.?
Well, because that's their land, that's their area.
See, it's like you're trying to
in Israel, and if Israel was doing that over the synagogue,
I think they trying
what could you do?
I think they trying to walk the line, and I don't like that. Choose a side.
What do you mean?
Almost what Caroline said at the end. Pick a side. So anyway, here we go.
Okay.
All right. So they're walking. She says, "I know what they're saying." Iyanna says, "I know what they're saying."
She hears it so much. She knows.
She knows what the prayer is, and so she was able to recite it. And then they start talking about their son going to college, and she said, "I'm going to go with him." I told him I'm going with him, and her husband said, "No, you're not.
You don't go to college with your son." Honey.
She was serious.
Yes, she was.
She said, "I'm going to go with him," and he said, "No, this is our time to be alone and
let him go." A lot of times you wonder if this is in the script, or they just saying
real.
They can't be saying this for real.
Would you really think you can go to the college with your son?
Who's to say the producers may say this?
I don't know.
Because it'll get the people listening to go, what? You crazy.
So then they start talking about, like you said, how they met. Apparently, she was getting ready to be married off to her cousin.
16.
And this guy showed up, her husband.
And they brought a dowry.
Oh, everything. They had it was all prepared.
Planned to get married. That's her wedding,
and
right?
1 week before her wedding, she ran off with this dude, her husband.
Met him.
She
Sister
said
introduced him.
She fell in love with him the first sight, and she asked him to marry her.
Yeah.
That's what she said. She asked him to marry her, and let me see. Her mom didn't like him. And they felt like she should
a picture of her mother,
and she shouldn't have married outside her culture. And he's a white guy, so all the check boxes.
Some of us, we get that same treatment sometimes if we marry outside of our race.
But she says she's always marched to the beat of her own drum. She actually used the correct analogy.
Yes,
this is the first time she actually used the correct analogy. I think
she's been known to say the wrong, saying
verbatim.
Remember? But one thing she said. The new husband that she has now, she said, "How much did you pay for me, honey?"
He didn't remember. It was like $500 or $1,000,
something like that.
She said
today.
She said it'd be worth $20,000
today, paying for.
But she had to pay. He had to pay for her, and she said that's in her culture. That's what they believe a dowry because
they do that in the Old Testament too, didn't they?
She said because you feed this kid, you clothe this kid, you put an investment in this kid. So if somebody wants to take this kid away, they got to pay for
take care of her. Yeah. Yes.
That's what she said.
Some women probably hate that tradition.
He said he thought she was one of the most beautiful women he ever seen when he saw her, when he first saw her.
Yeah, she has a different look.
And she said he reminded her of Van Damme, Claude Van Damme.
Yes, because she said they didn't see a lot of movies in their village, but she remembers seeing that movie, and he reminded her of him.
She said her mom. He said you never kissed me though. She said my mom told me that if I kissed boys, I would have get AIDS. She said, but I just realized.
She said, my mom really didn't like you then. For her to say that.
Or she just said it because she didn't want her to get pregnant or kiss no boys.
Who knows? That's funny.
She said, but she likes him now. She loves him now. The mom, everybody loves him now. The cousin loves him now. Everybody loves him now. That little
time to get to know them. It's a couple.
While they're walking, she gets an invite to Nina's birthday party, which is Bajan's birthday party. This big extravaganza.
Invites them all.
That's going to happen at the end of this show. So that was the end of their little
scene. And they had a little
scene.
picture of the Bitcoin. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So she asked what that was, and her husband had to tell her. So, okay.
So now we go over to Brooke. She's sitting there with her son, and she's getting her hair done. Did you notice she kept saying she wanted her hair straight, make it straight, bone straight? What is this obsession with black women having to have their hair so straight?
Is that European thing?
What is that?
Because, I don't know. I guess some women...
I don't have a problem. Here, look.
I think they like the look of it.
This is going to be a different show.
When Native American straight.
This is going to be a different show because I obviously have locks. I don't have a problem with black women getting relaxers, whatever you want to do with your hair. I don't care. You want to get a weave, you want to get whatever, lace front, wigs, all of that, wigs,
braids,
all whatever. Of that, braids, whatever. My issue is when you feel like your own hair or your own natural hair is not good enough because it's not straight or it doesn't.
Why do you have an issue with that when you just pretty much said you don't mind black women in the diversity?
Because I feel like
hair.
I feel like if you change it up because you just want a different look, that's different. But if you're changing it up because you have self-hate, I have an issue with that.
How would you know though? With
I don't know
for their hairstyle.
I don't know.
Yeah, because we're in a society now where you let the person be them. I almost choked.
Drink your water.
You like Michael Jackson?
Go ahead, John. Drink your water. You still trying to talk and go ahead.
I think the air went down the wrong way. You like Michael Jackson? He didn't like himself.
That's what I'm saying. I have a problem with that.
His afro.
But he also had a skin disorder. But if you don't like that's what I'm saying.
No,
if you don't like, I have a problem if you don't like yourself. That's what I'm saying, because you have more deeper issues. But that's another show.
But for me, I like the different looks at the hair that I can do. I like if it's a straight.
That's what I'm saying. If it's for looks,
that's for glamour and for
fine.
The look that I want.
That's fine.
And most women,
but it didn't come off like that with her. It came off like
she does wear her hair different. Remember, she wears it curly up.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she wore it up. She went to the party.
All right, I gotta go back and look. Then. If it's just for a different hairstyle, that's fine.
I think she likes that different look. Okay. They're glamorous women.
Okay.
So. Okay.
All right. So she's sitting there talking with her son, and apparently there's a bully that's bullying him. Yeah. Punched him in his eye.
I guess you get bullied all over the world.
Yeah, he got punched in his eye on the bus.
I wonder if he's being bullied because of his race.
Because he's mixed. I don't know.
You never know.
Well, she asked him if he felt, okay with it. Is he bothered by it? And he said he's fine. She said that they do have a driver, but she wants him to continue to be on the bus.
Most of the kids have drivers.
They all have drivers. She wants him to catch the bus, and she wants him to go to public school there, which she made a point to say their public school is not like our public school. It's like private school here. But yes, she wants him to be grounded. Now, how is that grounded?
I guess that's if that's the lower level of the school type of school, then that's probably why she wants him to go to that lower level or whatever.
That's like somebody saying, I want my son to be grounded so he only wears Louis Vuitton. That's ridiculous.
Well, that just shows what society they're in, the environment they're in. If the kids, I don't know.
No, grounded is going to pay less. And wearing no shoes.
That ain't gonna happen over there. Paying how much money for her building?
Oh yeah, you're right.
They kept showing her outfit that she was wearing when she was walking down the street with the realtor, looking at her little pink fuchsia shoes and her pink jacket.
But she wants
him
to
have. I'm like, really?
She wants him to have a normal life.
And you getting your hair straight and keep it straight and straightened. Son, are you okay with riding the bus? Did you notice
her hairdresser didn't say one word to her?
Not one word.
I told you. Watch the hairdressers. Watch the nannies. Watch the people that's around them. If they move like, that's not your normal hairdresser.
Okay.
And he don't know you from Adam's aunt. Or he don't like you. It's one or the other.
Okay.
So did you notice that though? They didn't even acknowledge the hairdresser.
Said anything. Yeah.
When have you seen a housewife where they don't talk about
the housewives of Dubai?
Thank you.
And the housewives of Atlanta. Their hairdressers,
nannies, all of that is involved.
They talk, they gossip.
These don't say nothing.
They throw shade while they're doing your hair. Girl,
these don't say nothing.
Nene said this about you. These don't, they don't say nothing.
They don't say nothing. Okay, so now we go to Caroline and Sarah. They meet for lunch. Sarah doesn't drink. And she said it's not because of religious reason. She doesn't drink because she didn't order a cocktail. Caroline ordered a cocktail. Sarah said she doesn't drink because she had, I guess she got a drink before, and she was pooping and throwing up and doing all kind of stuff. So it makes her sick. So she don't drink because of that, not because of religious reasons. So you would think it'd be for religious reasons.
No, because as far as how she's been behaving with religion, she's a bit open-minded.
She has tattoos and everything.
Yeah.
So then they start talking about the wedding, and Caroline said if it was up to her, she wouldn't have one, but she's having one because Sergio is Catholic. And then she calls him a boy again. See, she loves calling him a boy. And that he would wear the gown. He's a girl. He would wear the gown if he could.
Why
she was calling him everything.
Punked him out in this
everything.
And to punk him out, make him like a jellyback. Why would you marry him? Sex toy? He's more of her sex toy than her boy toy.
But Sarah looks up to it. She said, looking at them makes me feel like there's hope that I'll find somebody.
Oh, please don't look at this couple for some hope.
That's what she said.
Are you kidding
me? Then they have a
brief... look at Ayana and her husband walking with the little ice cream.
Yeah. They have a brief conversation about what it's like to be single and have children. And it's hard because men, which is another show. We might bring our cousin on for a show like that to talk about single and raising kids and being, is it hard to date or what's the whole thing on that? Even though her kids are older now, it's different when they're younger, I think. So they were saying it's hard to date when you are a single mom. And as far as men think that, you like the bottom of the thing. We talked about that on our previous show about that.
Because you have to get to know them. And I guess it's a little easier where if a person, if you're introduced to them.
Well, they look at kids as baggage. They said men look at kids as baggage.
What if they're older, though?
Well, I don't know. But she said she was lucky. In other words, Caroline was almost saying she's lucky to get Sergio. Because she had baggage. And he's young and good looking. And why does he want her?
But her kids are pretty much, they're older.
I know.
They're not little like Lisa's kids.
Well, Caroline made a big deal about her being 45. And they start talking about how Sergio wants kids
and have
again.
a baby for him.
Now, they did freeze some eggs. She froze some eggs.
But she don't want to carry them.
Well, she talked about tonight after the show on Guess What Happens Live.
With
that
Randy.
They decided to fertilize one of the eggs.
Okay.
And she's going to carry it.
Uh-oh. Well, she's in shape. I don't know how health-wise is, but she's, as far as her size and stuff.
But she don't have it in her now, so she's going to. We don't know if that's going to.
Well, I hope she's not my favorite, but if she carries her baby for Sergio and they're being married, I wish her well.
Now, did you notice that they said that last year you couldn't, in Dubai, you couldn't live with somebody if you was together, if you were single.
Right, you couldn't.
They couldn't even do the fertilization egg thing if you were single or not married. You had to be married to live together. You had to be married to have children. In 1 year, they changed that. That's why I told you.
I think for some reason for some reason
I ain't feeling Dubai. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking America wants to be like that. There's a lot of conservative Americans that would love to have a rule like that.
So we switching
where
up.
You don't live together until you marry. You got to be married
so
first.
we switching up. We becoming more like the old Dubai, and Dubai is coming like America.
I'm thinking America, if in God we trust kind of thing, we have to be careful with that because we have people of different faith and stuff.
So
you thinking Dubai is just losing
they're losing
respect for that religion and how
for you to have last year you couldn't live together if you wasn't married.
I guess they're trying to show how they're
evolving.
Said
there's so many Westerners there now that
that'll change your
Atlanta. I keep saying Atlanta. Atlanta changed. Atlanta is not people who keep living in Atlanta thinking that they South. No, you're not. It's so many people from Chicago and New York and implant. Yeah, it's so many of them now. It's ridiculous.
That are not born in Atlanta.
So then Sarah asked her why did she miss the fashion show, Lisa's fashion show,
she had to come
and
make
she
up a
said
reason.
It's because I had so much with the wedding, and then she finally told the truth and said she didn't want to be in a toxic environment. That's why she didn't come.
Because she bumped heads with
exactly
Yana and her friends.
So now we come to the party where this is a party where you said that you kind of tuned out.
I got a little bit of the beginning. I think Caroline was getting a little jealous.
Okay.
Of Sergio and his little, I guess she felt the women were hitting on him or he was hitting on them or I was trying to read that.
Okay.
What did you get from it?
What that? I'll tell you.
She didn't have to make that comment either about a personal.
Well, let's start off.
Thing.
They first talk about first we come in on the party and it's really a big giant extravaganza.
I was expecting Ayana to dress a little better than what she did.
Well, we come into this
simple blue dress.
Right. We come into this party and there is fire breathers. There's a floating piano player.
There's a lot going
on. The piano's floating in the sky, and the lady's playing the piano floating in the sky. There's acrobats flying over everybody's heads.
There's a lot going on at this party.
And then there's the entertainers from Los Angeles. Now, they didn't show who the entertainers were. I wonder who they were. Is this somebody like the Backstreet Boys or something that they didn't want to show? Why y'all didn't show who it was?
Maybe they would have to get paid if
they
did.
I don't know.
That's a good one.
They didn't show who it was. They just showed far away on stage there was somebody singing and stuff. But we couldn't get close enough to see who it was.
Oh, wow.
So
I'm
anyway.
sure somebody could have a film to know.
Yeah.
It was a such and such. I kind of heard the song.
So Lisa and Ayana show up. And then Lisa's the only one wearing a mask. Apparently it was a masquerade ball.
Yeah.
And Lisa was the only one wearing a mask. Ayana, like you said,
a mask to mess their eyes up and stuff.
And you said Ayana wasn't dressed. She was dressed in average.
Like a simple, like a little sequence blue dress.
Yeah.
But she usually goes like runway dressing.
Yeah.
Big long shoulders and big.
And she does that to go grocery shopping. But at a party, she wears a plain blue dress.
She's playing it. Okay.
What is that?
I don't know where she was at that night.
So she's so weird.
Okay.
So then Caroline shows up, and now that's Brooke. Brooke shows up, and oh Lord, so they all just kind of sitting at the table.
The party.
They all sitting at the table talking.
Of course, Lisa go ask.
Sarah told Lisa that the producers being shady went back and showed a previous scene where Sarah told Lesa that Caroline said she didn't come to her party because it was toxic. She didn't want to be in a toxic situation. Mm-hmm. So Caroline sits down and immediately apologizes to Lesa and says, I didn't come to your party because I had so much stuff going on with the wedding. And then that's when Lesa called her out and said, Sarah told me you said it was toxic.
Oh.
She called her out. Like, in other words, don't even lie. I know why you didn't come to my party.
You know the truth.
So then she was like, yeah. She basically had to confess to it and say, I just didn't want to deal with all of that. Mm-hmm. And while they're talking, Lesa and Caroline, Sergio's on the other side of the table talking with Iyanna.
Right.
And he's basically just saying, you guys are all nice people. Why don't y'all just come together and get along?
Right.
And Iyanna's like, you're right. Maybe we should squash our beef. It's just she says so mean and He's basically trying to be a peacemaker.
Thank you.
And you can see Caroline looking out the corner of her eye, getting upset that he's over there talking.
I didn't understand that. If you're going to be that insecure as an old woman with your boy toy or toy boy, you need to kind of bring it down a notch.
So then Iyanna gets up to go to the washroom or somewhere, and then he starts talking to Lesa.
Yeah.
And Lisa's being funny, and they just play, they being funny, and she hates that he's talking to Lesa.
Oh.
And she goes, oh, you're just going to be with them.
With them.
And what does that mean?
Lesa was like, because think about it, with them could mean...
See, we don't know.
Them can be those bees that I don't like.
We don't know.
Them is not a positive them.
So then he's looking like, oh, don't worry, just calm down. And she's like, no. And then Lisa's like, yeah, we're just having fun. She goes, well, is she going to suck your you-know-what?
She didn't have to say
and
that.
She didn't say you know what. She said the actual word.
Yeah. Do you think because she was drunk or something?
She was drunk. You could tell she was drunk.
She was Sergio was like, calm down, baby. Calm down. It's so
over here with that.
She was trying to, honey.
And she's supposed to be so,
Sergio was acting like the adult.
Oh, I'm so rich. Oh, I'm building a house in the land with the prince, and you at a party.
And Sergio was
gotta talk to
I think it caught him off guard because he was like, why is she acting up? It's okay, honey. It's okay.
And then other people took her away.
He came over to take her away.
Oh, my God. And everybody's like, what?
Now, he actually showed, he was a little,
so then Iyanna comes back.
He showed he was an adult then.
Iyanna comes back, and then Lesa fills her in on everything that happened, and Iyanna gets upset. Like, what is wrong with that woman?
Drunk.
So then,
sometimes
apparently,
alcohol can get some stuff.
Apparently, it wore off a little bit because she came back and sat down, and then Lesa said, we're upset with you because you said he's over here talking to them, and she said, I never said that. And everybody with the table was like,
so she was.
Are we in Bizarro World?
And the producers played it back, didn't they?
5 minutes earlier, you said, are you over there talking to them?
Yes.
She said, I never said that, Lesa. You're just causing mess like you always do. And she got mad at Lesa.
I swear, I sat there and I went, what just happened? Did that alcohol knock her back?
I have no idea.
Did she take a sip of coffee and got back? She was sober again?
Yeah. She said, I never said that. Lisa's lying. She's lying to you. Now, did you notice? How come nobody else had said anything at the table?
The other Brooks girl didn't say nothing. The Nina came over, was upset, right?
But why nobody said nothing when she said Lesa was lying?
I don't know.
How come nobody at the table said Lisa's not lying, Caroline? You said that 5 minutes ago.
And be there for her.
They didn't say nothing.
I noticed that.
Nothing. They let her say Lisa's lying about me saying that. And they didn't even say nothing. I hate when people do that. You don't let me get the hit, take the hit, be called a liar, and you not come in when we all was sitting here and heard her say it.
And who's to say the producers didn't say something? Who's to say that the producers don't say nothing, you guys? Let her and Lesa be the one to go at it. They need drama. So I don't know if somebody else saying something, which I was waiting for the Brooks girl, Caroline Brooks.
Didn't say anything.
I was waiting for her to turn and say she's right.
No, she happy. Caroline is the star. I told you that. For now, she won't be next year. Iyanna's the star next year. I can tell you that right now. But Caroline's the star right now. She was the one that brought everybody together. Well, we don't know. Phaedra's coming next week. Ooh. But as of right now,
and she's Brooks' friend.
As of right, Brooks or Caroline?
Caroline Brooks.
Okay, you have to say Brooks. Oh, Brooks' friend.
She's Brooks' friend.
She's not Caroline's friend.
She comes. It seems like when you saw her booty.
Oh, okay.
Caroline Brooks said,
that's her friend. Oh, we'll see. I thought she was the other Caroline's friend. But anyway, we'll see. So anyway, right now Iyanna's the star. But that's why nobody said anything at the table, because they're all afraid of Caroline.
That was, to me, really weak.
It's like Nene. Caroline is Nene. And they all afraid of Nene.
Yeah.
They all afraid of Caroline.
And Nene becomes a bully.
Yeah. That's Caroline. She a bully. Nene started to become a bully.
Oh, God, yes.
Like, I'll get you off this show if I don't like you and all this stuff.
When she made those comments, now you've taken me back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see. Okay, so
But yeah, Caroline acts like that.
So then they start arguing, but you can tell Nina wants to squash because she don't want them to ruin Bajan's birthday party.
They're acting crazy.
So one thing Iyanna says is, she said to Caroline, I would like to get to know you or something. And everybody went crazy. That's all you need to say.
Glasses, a cheer.
Let's cheer for y'all getting to get to know each other.
They stopped on that. They didn't want to go no further. Don't say nothing else.
They didn't allow them to keep talking or arguing. End on y'all saying y'all want to get to know each other better. That's it. And they all cheered. And it was forced.
Right.
It was a forced
get
together.
I was like, what the heck they doing?
That's what happened. They forced them all to get together.
Okay.
That was pretty much it.
They probably never...
Then they went to the diary. And they said something to say about that get together. Iyanna said she's gonna she'll go ahead and talk to Caroline, but she said I'm gonna keep both eyes on her. I'm gonna watch her. And then Caroline said the same thing pretty much. I'm gonna keep my eye on Iyanna.
Yeah, we
And then Lesa says that she don't want nothing to do with Caroline.
She really upset with. I think too.
He called her a liar.
And she made that comment about her sexually.
Over there with them, and then you gonna suck my husband.
So
you know what?
Now she's on Lisa's hit list.
She's done. Lisa's done with her.
Yeah.
So, and then on Watch What Happens Live, apparently they all done with each other because Caroline didn't have nothing good to say about none of them.
Oh, she didn't?
No. On Watch What Happens Live, Andy was trying to get some information about their newfound friendship.
Because I'm not a fan
about their newfound friendship, and she was just like, I can't stand none of them. So that friendship probably lasts. He said there's a last to the next episode at least.
Oh, so, okay, pray tell. None of them means even Nina? Because she ain't did nothing to her.
She said she don't like none of them.
Oh, so she's a phony.
So we don't know what's going to happen.
I told y'all I don't like her.
Maybe Phaedra going to shake up some stuff when Phaedra get there.
I hope Phaedra cuss her out and call her every name in the...
So we'll see.
In the book. Because
I can tell you right now.
I wish her well if she gets pregnant.
Even on the Atlanta Housewives, Phaedra was the queen of shade.
Yes. But see, I wonder if she's going to be throwing shade on Iyanna.
She might.
Because Iyanna don't really
because
get
if
along
she's
with
friends
Brooks.
with Brooke, it's going to be Iyanna battling Phaedra, Lenore. I'm telling you right now. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. We have nothing. What else are we going to talk about? Is either this or stuff that's going on in the world? This stupid show takes our mind off of the craziness that's going on in the world. These people talking about spending $30-some million for a license plate. Takes our mind off of real life stuff.
And what we're dealing with it.
Can you imagine $30 million for a license plate? $30 million. You imagine houses you can buy for $30 million.
You know how much you can help give money to people that's going through problems?
You know, you can buy a whole neighborhood for $33 million.
Starving in the city.
$33 million for a license plate.
And the people who take
a license plate.
And the people who are selling the license plate, getting that money, where is that going
to? That's the city, ain't it? City of Dubai. It's a license plate.
They building another building.
Another building. I'm going to charge you if you're going to pay. You that dumb. So, all right, here we go. All right, so that was the Housewives of Dubai. And
next week we'll see
Phaedra. Apparently she shows up. So, and that was another Woods Report.